Loading Up Podcast. Game on.
Perfect. Welcome back to the Loading Up Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brother Zay. Today we have a full cast with us today with Brother Tay.
Yo, there's a lot of fucking games that came out this year. God damn.
And we also have producer Jay with us.
What's up?
What's going on? Now, before we get into the show, let's talk a little bit about us. We're all on YouTube and Spotify. You can like, subscribe. It's all free to do. We appreciate all you guys. You can rate us on the podcasting apps. And we also have some sponsors. We have a couple sponsors you guys can click. The links down in the description. On YouTube, we have W Energy Drink, where you can save 10% on all your orders. And we also have NordVPN, where you can save 67% off of 2-year plans. There are other discounts as well if you don't want to do 2 years, so you can still save. Click those links in the description to get some massive savings. All right, let's talk about it. What have you guys been playing? Bruiser J, we'll start with you. What you been playing?
So again, I'm still going through the Kingdom Hearts games. I finally beat the first story in Chain of Memories. Now I gotta do the second one, but that shouldn't be difficult because it's actually a lot easier than the first story. I don't have to, because it's a card based game, so I don't have to reload the cards. It's weird. It's hard to explain. But anyway, yeah, so I'm doing that. Played more Baldur's Gate.
Nice.
We're stuck on.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're stuck. We're figuring it out slowly but surely. We're stuck on the Cazador fight. Yeah, it's more figuring it out because we wanted to bring Astarion with us because obviously that's his storyline, but I haven't really used him that much. And then obviously if you play it, like, he gets taken away. It took us a while to figure out how to get him back. So yeah, so we're still.
That was definitely a fight that we had to like figure out as well, because it feels like you get overwhelmed so easily.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Once you figure out like how to exactly do it and do it in a way that would be good for you, it's really good. It's a good fight.
Okay, yeah, no, we're still in the early stages of trying to figure it out, so I'm sure we've been through so much already. Like, it's we'll get through it. I've been playing.
Fuck.
I mentioned last week that I was playing Ball Pit, and there was another game that I think I just released on PC and PlayStation. It's Luminous Arise.
Oh, okay.
I really like the Luminous games. I said I wanted to get it because it's on Steam, and I was gonna get it for the Rogue Ally. But then I looked up because I want an Xbox just for like Play Anywhere, achievements, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I even posted, I commented on the post where the developer said that, it took a lot of work to get it out. And I said, I hope it comes for to Xbox soon. And I said I was going to play the Luminous Remastered that they had released a few years ago. And I did. I bought that. So I've been playing that. And the developer liked my comment. So hopefully it's going to come soon because I really like Luminous. That was one of the first games that I bought for the PSP because that was what it launched on.
Yes. I remember when it launched on that.
Yeah, and I love that game. Like, it was so like revolution. It's basically Tetris but with music. And yeah, and it came out like so long ago, and every time like somebody mentioned about like handheld gaming, like a Vita or the PSP or anything like that, I always recommended Luminous. Like, that's one game that everybody should play. And if you haven't played Luminous, there's also Tetris Effect. That's very like similar to it, and it's just so fun. So I've been playing that on my Ally, and there was one more that I was playing. I can't remember though. Oh yeah, I mean I was playing Black Ops. If you're watching, this is not my gameplay. If you're watching on YouTube, this is Brother Matt's gameplay. As you can tell by he's doing very good. clearly not me. But yeah, I've been playing some Black Ops. We were talking right before the show about the whole skill-based matchmaking stuff, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I only played it like the first day, and everybody's jumping in on the servers at the same time, so it's gonna get hectic. So they separated the open servers with the skill-based matchmaking servers, and as we've seen online, that a lot of people do not like skill-based matchmaking, and I mean, that's always been a complaint for shooters. So finally, they took it out. Well, they didn't take it out, but they separated it so that way they basically gave us what we wanted or what people were wanting. And I jumped into it, and I got murked. Like it was not pretty. Like I barely was ever able to get like more than 3 kills. That's how bad it was. And I played like a few games too. So I was like, because usually after a few games, skill-based matchmaking, it kind of like, evens it out, and then you'll get like a few games that you do pretty decent in. But every game I was bottom of the leaderboard, trash. So I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's the game, but maybe there was something to skill-based matchmaking,
I mean, it's hit or miss. I like no skill based matchmaking because sometimes you'll get trash, and then other times you'll do amazing.
I was the trash. That's why.
Damn.
Look, it's
I
not.
was the trash for everybody.
Don't beat yourself up. Sometimes it happens, bro.
Yeah, I'll play some more, but yeah, that kind of like it threw me for a loop. I wasn't expected to do that bad.
All right.
But yeah, that's the main things I've been playing.
Very good. Brother Tay, what you been playing?
I got a short list. So, we just so I got 2 things. So, we just finished on my streaming side of the other stuff I do outside of these podcasters in life. We finished we finished the Ghost of Tsushima. Forgot.
Nice.
So we finally finished that
I was
on the
actually
stream.
tempted to buy that. I wanted to buy it on Steam, but it's still freaking full price after all this
full
time.
price.
It's weird.
Oh yeah. Dude, it's a very popular game, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's
hold up.
very-
You have Ghost of Tsushima on your PS5.
I wanted to play it on my ROG Ally, okay?
This brother over here can't do nothing about that. All right.
Unless I can figure out how to stream it to my Ally, maybe I could do that.
Nah, you can wait a few more. You can wait 1 more year till this thing comes out. And then today, as you all know, I am a TFT fanatic, a Teamfight-tastic fanatic. I finally was able to pass Platinum today, and now I'm an Emerald going to Diamond as I get ready for the next set to come out and be annoyed that way again.
What is like the goal? Is there something to work towards in Teamfight
TFT?
Tactics? Yeah.
Not really. You kind of just play. It's like the best way to describe the game is just it's a very good time waster. Like if you have nothing better to do, it's a good relaxation game because it's just pretty much you're just putting stuff together and just letting them fight. So it's like how much like what was the game that it's a game, it was like a turn-based game that you just put, it was like you put soldiers and you give them weapons that make them stronger. I forgot the name of it now.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I
don't know. I don't remember what it's called.
Brother Zay, do you remember what it was?
No,
like a
I'm
turn-based,
blanking on a name.
It was like a turn-based shooter game that like you would just get certain shooters. You had the snipers, you had other things that you decide more like civilian in a way.
Like XCOM?
I was gonna say
XCOM.
Okay.
Like it's like XCOM where like you just have to put things in a certain position to make sure you win. And like once it fails, you're like, okay, what did I do wrong here? That's what Team Psych Tactics is. It's like, okay. And then you just keep going. It's like a rank game for like all games, like Smite and all the other stuff. You're like, okay, I got this good at this. Now I get to go against other places. Like skill-based time. Servers. Certain games deserve it, some games don't need it. I don't think. that's what I've been playing. Other than that, been pretty good. Things being outside a lot. What you
Yo,
play, bro? Today?
oh man, let's get into the list. So I was playing some Black Ops 7, just dropped this past weekend. I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 6 still. I am chugging along. I almost completed Power Wash Simulator 2. I got like a few more locations to clean out. My wife is looking at me like, you playing that game still? Yes, still playing Power Wash Simulator 2.
I was about to
Ain't nothing
ask
wrong
you,
with it.
play that with your wife? Because I know some
I
people
know
that
this.
play with
No,
the
she don't like
partners.
that game. She don't like that game, so
No,
she won't play it. Yeah, I play it
yeah.
with my Xbox buddies. They play it, so I'll play with them if we are on the same level. Also been playing Dispatch. I did the first and second episode.
I
Uh,
forgot about that. I forgot
I don't
about Dispatch.
I haven't done the third one. I'm looking forward to continue playing though because I realize now the voice actors in Dispatch who they are, and I'm like, no way. It's like
You
it's
didn't know?
I didn't know Aaron Paul is his name.
Yeah, Aaron Paul. He's the
I had
main
no
character.
idea. I know. I had no idea it was him. I was like, no way. I didn't even recognize Aaron Paul.
To be fair, it's not like you have to. It's not like you always notice like who's who in these games.
True.
So
Yeah, true.
don't beat yourself up about it.
No, no, no. But I was just like, I was surprised. I was like, man, he does such a good job. I don't hear him as Aaron Paul. I hear him as Robert Robertson. It's weird.
Uh,
I'm
So
not gonna lie.
that's a testament to his ability to change,
There,
his voice
that's
up
very true.
enough.
There's a
yeah.
voice. There's a voice actor who does video games and also is a streamer. So you can
Oh
never
yeah.
know you never know what game he's in. He just kind of shows up randomly.
Yeah.
He's
What's
it's
his
like
name? I forget his
I
name, like
know
his YouTube name.
he's a
uh,
VTuber. His VTuber name's like Sayu. Name's like
no,
Alejandro.
but there's other ones like I think it's Jacksepticeye is also in it. He's one of the villains.
Oh, really?
Yes,
What?
yes. There's a couple YouTubers. I think it's there's a couple YouTubers on there for sure. I forget the actual their names of it. Um, like who they play and but there is a couple YouTubers for sure. But Jacksepticeye is one of them. I think he plays Sonar. Um,
You know what? Now that
I
you
don't
said
know.
it, I can actually hear his voice
you
in
can
Sonar
hear it.
now.
Yeah, you can hear
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
Now that I replay his voice, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Jack. Top of the morning to you, lassie.
Yeah, so yeah, it was very surprising to see who was in Dispatch and looking forward to actually play more of it. I really wanted to come out on Xbox. I'll play it again and maybe make different choices this time. So
Yeah.
looking forward to when it does drop on Xbox. Um I think that's all I've been playing. I mean, little games here and there. Like I tried Pigeon Simulator that dropped on Game Pass. Worst mistake of my life. Um, it was terrible. It's like Ghostbusters, but you're a pigeon. It's weird.
What the?
Um,
Okay.
Fuck.
exactly,
Well, simulating
exactly.
games are so random because you're like, oh, I'm
It's
just gonna do this, and there's such a storyline behind stuff. You're like, what the fuck?
exactly like you're as a pigeon you wanted to grow up to help people, but then you end up chasing down ghosts in the city as a pigeon and bringing them to like the little it's weird. I
That
immediately I was
is
like, all right,
that's
not
very
not for
weird.
me.
What is
Yeah,
this game?
I know it's so weird.
There's
But I
a
was like, yeah, that's enough.
I saw a simulator game. It's like a leaf cleaning simulator game. I
What?
forgot what. There's a game where you like clean up yards like blowing by like either picking up leaves, raking them, or like using a leaf blower to blow them in the drains. And the start of it's like, oh, I fell into a coma again. I'm like, what do you mean?
Again.
Again, yeah.
I'm like, they're like, furthermore, what does the coma have to do with me picking up leaves? What do you mean again? There's so many questions.
Yeah,
It's a
there's
lot,
some
a
like
lot
games are
of
funny.
lore to drop just straight out the
And what?
gate.
This is the start of the game. This is you're reading it.
Yeah, definitely some weird ones out there, but yeah, that's what I've been playing to try and keep keep the mind running. All these games. I guess we can jump straight into some news. A little bit of talk about Destiny. So Sony came out and had a conference about their quarterly earnings reports. And turns out the Sony CFO Lin Tao was talking about Destiny 2 and how the level of sales and user engagements have not reached the expectations that they had at the time of the acquisition for Bungie. Um, and they're classifying it as a impairment loss against a portion of the assets at Bungie. So they really had high hopes for Bungie. I think a lot of people had high hopes for Bungie going to Sony. And it seems with all the drama within Bungie and then outside of after the acquisition and how they treated all the live service games that were being developed over at Sony, it just turned out to be Sony taking a huge loss on Bungie and everything that they thought they were going to bring to the table. It just didn't really do well for them. They did mention in the earnings call though that Helldivers 2 and MLB The Show both have amazing numbers over on Xbox and PC. So they were happy about that, but there was very uh lot of things to discuss over at Bungie and what's gonna happen with their future now that the earnings were extremely bad on it.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's safe to say that the Bungie acquisition was a flop. I mean, I know we still have Marathon to come out, and maybe there's a small chance that it could be kind of like a redemption for Bungie. But basically, everything since this acquisition has just been negative. And I mean, I don't know how they can bounce back from this. It's ironic that they're called Bungie. How do they bounce back? Um, but yeah, it was just a giant miscalculation on Sony's part, and honestly, I think it was probably more of a reactionary move because of the ABK acquisition. Um, I mean, that's the only thing that explains it. I mean, I know we heard before that Bungie was looking to be acquired. They even approached Microsoft, and Microsoft passed on them because their price was too high. And now we're seeing that maybe they were right to pass on them.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. And then the kicker is of all the live service games that Bungie basically stepped in and canceled. They Sony brought them in to kind of oversee their live service push, and they canceled factions and they canceled all these other games that they deemed unworthy apparently. And now we're seeing Bungie at where they're at, and it's just like it was all for nothing. Maybe factions could have been a success had Bungie not stepped in. I don't know. We'll never know. But yeah, this whole Bungie thing is it's really sad too, because Bungie used to be one of those developers that you could count on for quality, and now it's like, can they even deliver anymore? I don't know. I guess once Marathon comes out, we'll know for sure.
Oof, if it comes out, didn't that get
If it
pushed back
comes out,
too?
yeah, it got delayed. That's right.
Yeah.
Delays are
Who
killing.
knows at this Yeah. Yeah. Who knows at this point what's gonna happen with either Marathon or Bungie in general. Maybe they're just maybe Sony will swallow Bungie, just push them
Like
into other
wholesale,
studios.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's that bad that they just mentioned how terrible they've done with Bungie, and then they move on to other things, so they could like wipe the stink off them of the Bungie.
Yeah.
It's sad news for Bungie. It used to be
Again,
a pillar in gaming.
Yeah, like I said, like they used to be one of the examples of how a developer should be and how you can deliver. And now it's just I know the Bungie today is not the Bungie of old, but
Yeah.
still, the name still holds value. Same thing with like BioWare, same thing with Naughty Dog. Obviously developers come and go within the studio, but the name should still hold value and it has to be held to a certain standard.
Yeah.
And when that standard constantly drops with each release, it's just like what are you even getting anymore?
Yeah. Who knows at this point with them?
Yeah. Sad
Let-
state of affairs.
Definitely. Let's move on to better news for Sony when it concerns gaming. Arrowhead Game Studios released Helldivers 2 back in August on Xbox, and that sold crazy. It was the Helldivers 2 sold more on Xbox than it did PlayStation the first 6 days, and it even helped significantly increase sales on the PS5 and the PC. So they were like super proud and happy about how Helldivers was doing on Xbox, as well as how it made a bigger push on their other platforms. They said overall, their live service titles accounted for more than 40% of first party software revenue, which is really big. 40% of first party software revenue for just a very few games. And I don't think it's that many games. I really think it's like 2 games um that they release in other places besides PC, on Xbox. Um so that's a big jump, 40%. And they were really happy with how it performed on Xbox. I wonder if this leads to more.
I mean, you have to imagine that, right? I mean, the success, and this is not just this is not the first time they've already, like you said earlier about MLB The Show. That was not done by Sony. Like Sony had no input in that. It was
Yeah.
either ported to Xbox or you lose the license. So they were kind of forced to do that. But with Helldivers, this is the first time that they actually chose to do it. And even the studio head at Arrowhead,
Arrowhead.
he said he was actually surprised, pleasantly surprised that Sony was the one that gave him the green light. And it wasn't that at least I don't believe, like maybe I read it wrong, but based on what I saw and my understanding is that they didn't approach Sony to do it. Sony approached them. Sony was like, "Yeah, let's do this." Maybe they were hearing rumblings, maybe they talked about it in meetings about potentially doing it, but it's not like something they were like actively fighting for. But then when Sony came in and was just like, "Yeah, let's do it." It was like, "Oh shit, okay." And now here we are and we see the success. So I definitely think more games are coming. I don't think anybody should say that, "Oh, it was just Helldivers. Oh, it's just this." Like, no, more games are coming to Xbox. It's just a matter of when. That's
Yeah.
it.
I mean, they have to tell Helldivers 2 is a great success, and I'm glad they, went and approached Arrowhead about it, because just look at what we just talked about with Destiny, how bad that was for it. They gotta make it up somewhere of the what was it, like 4.6 billion dollar purchase for Bungie.
Right.
So putting their games in other places, allowing more players into their ecosystem, so that way they can create more revenue for them to then release more games. It just all makes sense, why wouldn't you want more money?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we continue with even more Sony news, because we even have rumors about is
Oh.
Shift Up, new earnings report from Shift Up, and they're talking about how their strong earnings can lead to their game Stellar Blade to be releasing on other platforms. So they're looking to potentially release Stellar Blade in other places. It came out on PS5 and then it was ported to the PC, and we may be potentially seeing it on Xbox.
Yeah. I am, and Switch too. Don't forget that. So I
Ah.
think what?
Nah, we can forget about that one. Continue.
I mean, so you can't you can't forget it. It's the new hotness, as they like to say.
Fine.
Everybody's trying to port to Switch 2 somehow. It's just, they got Nintendo got to give them the dev kits. Apparently, they don't do that, but whatever. the- yeah, I think this is again a sign of things to come. Obviously, well, the whole situation with Stellar Braid is that it was supposed to come to Xbox originally when they
Yeah.
first announced it, and then Sony bought. They basically paid them off to not release it on Xbox. So, but then like it's still considered a first party title for Sony because they published it. So like it's a weird situation. I don't know like what if that would be an outlier. It's just I don't know. It's weird, but hopefully that does mean that it's coming elsewhere because I know a lot of gooners want that everywhere, right?
Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Especially. All right. So next story. Um.
Oh Lord.
No. It just goes to show you though that because they released the game on PC a little while after, the Sony money must have ran out because they needed more, so they released it on PC. And they can get even more money by releasing a game like that onto the Xbox. And people will buy it the same way people brought Helldivers 2. So they can just make more money. It's just about making money because that's what these companies want. The line must go up.
Yes.
So
Better. You know this.
Yes.
We have to get the money.
And that's why
All right.
anybody who says that like that porting games to other platforms is a bad idea. It's like these companies want money. That's the end all be all. They will do whatever is necessary to get money. So don't have any like qualms about or they don't have any qualms about porting to other platforms if it makes them money.
There's no loyalty when it comes to money.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We had earlier this week some concerning news about Hi-Fi Rush. It was earlier this year sold to Krafton, and just last week they sort of delisted all their songs, and we were wondering, does this spell doom? But no, we have some updates from Krafton themselves. They are updating Hi-Fi Rush to be changing from Bethesda Softworks to Krafton. The transition has happened already as of November 14th, and everything, all the player data, the achievements, and all the saves, everything will be able to cross over. So you not really have to do anything. It may just update the game, and that's it. So that's really good news for Hi-Fi Rush. Really good news for the players who either have played it and didn't finish it, or who just love Hi-Fi Rush. That nothing really changes for the consumer. It's all just about them switching over, I guess, all their rights over to Krafton instead of Bethesda Software.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were kind of like they were trying to figure out why would they delist all that stuff. But yeah, I mean that was probably the easiest explanation because a lot of people forget that these types of like acquisitions they take time. It's not instant. When a company announces that they're gonna acquire another company, it's not like that day it's final. No, it's a long process, as we saw with the ABK stuff. Even with the Bethesda one, like that took a while. That took like 6 months. So yeah, the acquisitions take time, and merging everything, like all the systems together, and not porting, transferring over, like all the rights and all that stuff. It takes time. So obviously, we're gonna see some changes, but I think now is when we're finally gonna see a Krafton-led Tango Gameworks, and what that actually means. Because obviously, I'm gonna assume that means a Hi-Fi Rush 2, but maybe they might be working on something else. I don't think it's gonna be The Evil Within. I think Microsoft still owns that, but maybe they can do something similar. Maybe another horror game that is similar to it. I mean, they already did basically a Dead Space rip-off, so why not do a Evil Within ripoff?
Damn. Like, damn.
I mean, it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You
Yeah,
do,
well,
but Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's good that they're keeping Hi-Fi Rush, and they're keeping all the players' data and all the achievement syncs and everything. So that's all good
Right.
news for us, the players.
Yes, very
Yeah.
good.
All right, let's move on to some Microsoft news. So Microsoft has come out as of today. Microsoft has revealed today that it is publishing criteria public for the first time. So it's making its publishing criteria public for the first time since its inception for over 2 decades ago. The new Xbox game publishing guide will offer developers a variety of information about how publishing on Xbox works, all without NDAs and embargoes of the past. It states, by opening our game publishing documentation, we're removing barriers to learning and making it easier for teams of all sizes to understand what it takes to ship a game on Xbox. That was Microsoft's Ed Stewart. He goes on to further explain, whether you're a first time independent developer or a seasoned publisher, you can now browse the guide freely, share it with your team, and reference it throughout development. And this is absolutely amazing. This is really good for developers, like they said, of all sizes, getting access to exactly what it is that they need and or need to use to be able to publish their games on Xbox to make it easier to bring more games to Xbox. This is really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are trying to like Alexa stop. um, a lot of people are trying to like downplay this as like not a big deal. It's like, oh, they're just doing what they should have done a long time ago. This and that. But as we're gonna talk about in a little bit, Microsoft is feeling the pressure now to basically do what they can to make the Windows platform, the Xbox platform, um, viable, especially for indie devs. I mean, big publishers, whatever, they know what they got to do. But for indie developers, it's a little bit hazy and it's not as simple. So opening this up and making it very accessible for indie developers, even before they publish their game, is one step closer to making it easier for developers, for indie developers on the platform. And that's all you can ask for. Or that's like the bare minimum, honestly. Um, I do think this should be a sign that Xbox is going to be more active in trying to engage with indie developers and try to get a feel for how to make uh, the Xbox platform as a whole, including PC and console, more accessible. And I think that we're gonna see a lot of changes coming soon. One thing I do hope, and I don't know how they would even go about this because I know why it's not the way it is. Because on Steam, so, like, if you compare, a game that releases on the Windows platform or like, Windows Store and then the Steam version always seems to be up to date, and there's a reason for that. It's because Steam apparently doesn't, uh they don't, QA any updates. So, a developer can just push out an update, and if it works, it works. If it breaks stuff, then that's, you gotta figure it out. So, that's one of the issues that Xbox, or not even just Xbox, PlayStation as well, where, a developer will have to wait to post the update on PlayStation and Xbox because, uh, they have to they basically have to QA it to make sure that it runs properly. But the problem with that is that it takes time. So, like, a game will be updated on Steam way before it gets updated on consoles, and that's why a lot of people tend to go on the Steam version and see that as the superior version because it gets the most updates. But that's because sometimes those updates can break stuff. So I wonder if, like, Microsoft will kinda adopt a similar style where it allows developers to update their games faster, which would make them on par with the Steam version, because there really shouldn't be any difference between them. It's on PC. It's running on the same hardware. It's just a different store. So why shouldn't they be the same? But they're not. So I'm very curious to see if Microsoft addresses that to make it more appealing to publish games on the Windows Store without having to deal with like all that stuff. But regardless, we are seeing that Microsoft is being active in trying to make sure that Windows and Xbox is viable for those indie devs.
They're gonna have to, because I mean the next thing we're talking about is Steam Machine. That's right. They have announced officially a small form factor Steam Machine. It is 6 inches. That is it. 6 inches wide. It is a very small power packed PC.
Hey, 6 inches, it's not all about the size.
All right. I'm out of here.
You sticking your land, producer Jay. That's me. Damn it. Damn it.
You gotta be faster, man.
I was trying. I wanted to be polite.
How can you be polite like that?
I was waiting for you to finish the conversation. Sometimes you got to let your people finish. That's how you prove to be a good partner. See, you thought it was over. Never. The jokes are still there.
All right. Yes, the Steam Machine was announced. It's gonna be gonna have
the
4K
second gen Steam Machine.
Well, yes.
Okay.
This one, we don't
What's
know
the
price
first?
yet.
Wait,
Well,
what's the first one?
A long time ago, they tried this and it failed.
Oh, I had no idea. Actually, there's rumors of a pricing coming out. Actually,
Yes, there are rumors of a pricing coming out, but as of right now, there's no price for it yet.
Yeah, we have no
Yeah.
confirmed prices. The rumor is like $500 to $700.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks like a little Series X, like a Series X that's been chopped in half.
It looks like those fan-made renders of what the Series S was gonna be.
Oh yeah, the little
Yeah.
cube. I remember those.
It looks like it looks like a GameCube. Let's be honest. It looks like a
it's
GameCube.
a GameCube. I was like, it's technically a GameCube, just blacker.
Yeah.
And no disk track.
No,
People call it the Gabe Cube.
Yes,
I have been hearing that.
GameCube.
To be fair, I heard GameCube, then I heard GayCube, but I was like, why is it gay?
I heard that.
Yeah, what's really cool?
I think I just misheard it.
You definitely misheard it because I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
What's really cool is that they not just announced the Steam Machine, they also announced the new Steam controller, which looks like the Steam Deck without the screen. It looks a little weird to me. I don't know. I have to hold it. I would have to hold it to really feel it.
It looked like
I'm gonna say
it looked like a PlayStation controller, to be honest, to me.
so. Yeah, on the top end, it looks like the PlayStation controller because it has the thumbsticks in the position of the the same way a PlayStation would have it. I'm gonna just say right now, that shit looks ugly. I don't care.
It does.
It's disgusting to look at. Again, I remember I said this about the Xbox Ally when the first leaked images showed of it. I thought it looked ugly too, but holding it in my hands, it feels amazing. And I think this is probably a similar case, but it still looks ugly. So
to be honest, I don't think I've ever looked at a controller and was like, that's a pretty controller. I think all of them look bad, to be honest.
What are you talking about? The GameCube controller is peak.
All right.
Sure. Sure it was.
That was terrible. But they also, not just the Steam controller, but they also announced this Steam Frame, which is a VR headset. It's sort of like it's its own gaming computer because everything is within that one headset piece, which is actually really cool. And it's not just used for Steam VR games. You can use it for other things as well. So they announced a lot, and we have a little bit of information in terms of like how powerful these machines will be, or the pricing of them. So we look forward to seeing what Valve sets the price at. Where
Well,
in the competitive field of gaming, this Steam machine will lie. Is it going to be more expensive than the current Series X or PS5, or will it be just a little bit cheaper? We don't know. This is a PC though. Let's not get it confused. Yes,
yes.
you can hook it up to your TV and play it on your TV, but it is a PC, not a console. So we will keep everybody updated as we get more information about the new Steam products.
Yeah. So the way I see it is that Steam they're taking the same approach as the Steam Deck, where Steam or Valve was very open about the fact that obviously they're not trying to compete with Nintendo or the Switch, because that's a fool's errand. Um but they did want to basically push that handheld industry forward and encourage others to do the same. And that's exactly what happened. Once the Steam Deck hit, yeah, it didn't sell like crazy. I think it only sold like 6 million units, which by console standards, that's piss poor. But it was never meant to make money. I'm sure Steam made some money off of it. I don't think they just did it for free to lose money. But I think the ultimate goal was to push that industry, and it worked. And now we got Xbox even doing it. We got PlayStation doing it. So I think their goal is similar with this. They want a more PC focused platform for gaming in general. And what better way to do that is than to release basically a entry level PC for consumers to get that will basically act as a baseline for a bunch of games that get released on Steam at least. Um, does this mean that every game is gonna run on this? No. I mean, obviously, there's as time goes on, more modern games is gonna be harder to run on this. Especially based off the specs. This is based off of like 3 or not even 3, like 5-year-old specs. Um, and it's gonna struggle to run modern games. And even when they ran Cyberpunk, in like all the previews that I saw, they had to run on medium settings. And even they even admitted that in order to hit the 4K 60 FPS that they're trying to aim for, they have to use FSR to do so. So it's not gonna be like this powerhouse. I don't think this is meant to compete with PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo. I think this is just to show that it's more like a proof of concept and to push both Sony and Xbox to adopt a more PC mindset in terms of how consoles should be. Because this is, yeah, it's a console, but it's also a PC at heart. It'll feel like a console, but it's gonna be a PC. You can boot into. I mean, it runs on Linux, but you can boot into a desktop. You can go on the files and stuff like that. You can even install Windows,
Yeah, I was
although
gonna say you can install Windows on it.
yeah, you could probably install
Well,
Windows, although if it's anything like the Steam Deck, it's probably going to be a little bit of a hassle because there's no official driver support. So you kind of have to rely on like the user or the community drivers. Because I remember people were talking about it for the Steam Deck, and that yeah, it can technically run Windows, but it's not the best experience. So I assume that's going to be the same thing for this. Also, one thing that a lot of people seem to forget, because it's running on Linux and SteamOS is based off Linux, the anti-cheat for multiplayer games is not supported. So that
Yep.
means every multiplayer game, or virtually at every multiplayer game, will not run on this game or will not run on this console or PC, whatever.
yeah, no Fortnite, no
No
Call of
Fortnite,
Duty,
no Call of Duty, no
no Valorant,
Battlefield, no
Battlefield.
Valorant, no Roblox, no nothing.
Yeah.
And those are the most popular games. What's that?
I was like, not Roblox.
Wait, listen. Roblox is like the most popular game right now.
Oh, I know, but we are talking about Steam, so like
But
is
that's
what
what I'm
it is.
saying. So like a lot of people tend to think like, oh, because I got into it with somebody online. They were saying, oh, like, this is for big boys, and it's like, okay, that's fine. If you want this to be like a niche device, then it can be a niche device. But if you're expecting this to be again competing with PlayStation, competing with Xbox, you gotta like get that out of your head. It's not gonna do that. It's not gonna sell a bunch of. I'm putting the cap at maybe 10 million, maybe, because there's no way that the casual audience, which let's be real, the casual audience carries all platforms. Maybe not PC so much, because that's more like nuance and it's a lot of variety. But for consoles, the Xboxes, PlayStations, and Nintendos, they are carried by casual players who just buy the thing, they want to play the games, that's it. And what do those casual players play? They play Call of Duty, they play Fortnite, they play the NBA online, they play Madden. All those games they play because like that's what they buy these consoles for. Maybe they'll dip into other, first party games and stuff like that. But the bulk of them will just be playing those same games every generation. It happens every time. And that's also why like PlayStation, they just sold, or they just announced that they sold like 84 million units. But then they also announced that Ghost of Yotei, or Yote, whatever, that it sold 3.3 million. Now on its own, that's a pretty decent number. But when you compare it to the amount of PlayStations that are available in the market, or the install base of PlayStation, that's really, really low. That's like less than like 5%. Maybe it's a little bit more. But that's really low number. And that's because casuals don't buy those games. So you have to be realistic about the reach of this device. Yes, it's cool that Steam is doing this, and hopefully it lights a fire under Microsoft especially, because they're basically going to do the same thing but with Windows. So that's why I said that Microsoft is really like, they're putting pedal to the metal in terms of trying to get people to adopt Windows and not leave and not abandon Windows for Linux or whatever. But yeah, this thing is not meant to be like a massive success. If it is, that'll be fantastic. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I think people need to be realistic about what this device is meant to do.
When it concerns power on the Steam machine, based off just like the tech specs that they do have available, it's using 8 gigabytes of VRAM, which is the same amount of VRAM that the Series S has. So it's gonna have limitations. It's not supposed to be like you said, competing with the Xbox Series X or PS5. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see where this sits and who is in the market for this.
Yeah, and like we just said, the main factor is going to be the price, because if this is priced too high, it's basically DOA. Like there's no point in it. I fully expect it to be minimum $600 based off the specs and based off of previews I've seen where they openly said that they spoke to Valve and they said that it's going to be priced like a PC, because it functions like a PC. So you have to take all of that into account, because if you price it too low, then what is going to happen is that a bunch of people are going to buy this thing and they're going to turn it into something else that is not made for gaming. One of the examples I've seen is that it's going to be used for crypto farming, because because it's cheap. It's going to be cheaper than GPUs. So why not just install Windows on it? And I mean, I don't know how that works or whatever, but yeah, that's one of the things that Valve has to take account when pricing this stuff, is that I don't think they're meant to make a huge profit, but they still got to justify the R&D that went into this thing. So they got to sell something. So the price is going to be crucial. And I don't think that a lot of people are gonna be. I don't think the price is gonna be too consumer friendly. And what I mean by that is that I don't think this is gonna be like it's not gonna undercut consoles right now. I think it's gonna be priced around the same thing. And granted, it does have 2 versions with different memory,
Capacity?
like different capacity. Thank you. Um, so maybe the higher end will be like the more expensive one, and then the lower end will be the cheaper one. I mean, that's usually how it goes. But yeah,
Yeah, but you could also upgrade the memory with the
yes, you
high-speed
can do
micro
that too. You
SD.
can do that
So
yourself. This is very much made to be customizable. To a certain extent. Obviously, it's not fully, but yeah, I think there's a lot of questions that come with this, and we're gonna be waiting to see what it all means. But the
yeah.
price is gonna be the first thing that we got to figure out.
Well, they gotta figure it out.
Well, they
Right.
got to figure it out. Yeah,
We'll be
we
it'll be
got
the
to
first thing
find it
we
out.
hear. It'll be the first thing we hear, and then we can look at it's like what are the function it does.
Right.
Yeah.
But on its surface, I think this is a good move, and I think this ultimately will help the industry going forward, especially like I said, Microsoft, because now they have real competition. It's like and then, again, the
When it
people
comes to
are
that PC.
people are misconstruing like what this is gonna be. It's not meant to compete with consoles. Microsoft didn't leave the console uh industry and then Steam go into it. No, Steam is not replacing Microsoft. I'm telling you right now, that's not what's happening. The industry is evolving, and this is basically the first step. And I think we'll hear from Microsoft relatively soon about what their plans are. We've heard not rumors, but they've talked about it in interviews. But I think we'll actually see it probably as soon as early next year.
Well, it definitely says it's gonna come out next year, so we'll hopefully we'll see
Hopefully
something maybe
earlier
at
than
the
that.
Game Awards. Maybe
Now,
you
Well,
I
that is
don't think
next.
it's
That
gonna
is
be at
next
the
year,
Game
so
Awards.
maybe. But speaking of Game Awards, though,
Yes.
Well, no, we have one more news article before we get to the Game Awards,
so I'll
and it's
jump the gun.
about you did. It's okay though. It was
And
great. I'm sorry. It was great.
man,
I
you
wish
lined them up with that segue and you just
I
tore it down.
Brother Jay
I
will not be
did.
happy with this one.
Oh man, I'm sorry, but we gotta talk about the continued fallout over at Rockstar Games. It was revealed on the 31st that they fired 31 people, and at first nobody knew why, but then it turns out that they were accused. Rockstar was accused of union busting, and now the remaining members over at Rockstar is over 220 members of Rockstar. They signed an open letter to have those people who were fired to be reinstated so that way they can continue on with the development of their current game that was pushed back all the way to November, Grand Theft Auto 6. So now the remaining 220 Rockstar staff members signed a letter to management of the company to immediately reinstate all the people who were fired, the former staffers, so they could continue working on their game. It's just been an absolute shit show.
It really is.
Yeah, we were talking about last week about like the potential ramifications of this. Obviously, we didn't know anything about like the UK laws regarding unions and stuff like that, but clearly there seems to be a case to be made, and now it's coming to a head, and I don't know what this means for Rockstar, and I don't know what this means for Take-Two. I don't know what this means for GTA. But yeah, it's about to get really messy, and yeah, I mean we'll find out more as this progresses. But yeah, I didn't expect this to be as big of a deal as it was because, I mean, not to diminish, the work of those what was it, 31 people, 32
Well,
people
I think
that were laid
32.
off.
31,
But, like,
I remember.
yeah, so but when you look at that number compared to, like, how big the studio is, you're just like, "Oh, like, whatever." But clearly, like, there's something going on here, and yeah, Rockstar is gonna be feeling it. Hopefully, this gets resolved soon because I know a lot of people are gonna be upset if it affects the release of GTA.
And it will. And I think it has. That's one reason why.
Well, yeah, they said it didn't, but it's kind of hard to not see that
I
it did.
mean, can we
It
really
clearly
believe that?
has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
To be honest, it's one of those things. Like I know they said it's 31, and then Brother Zay said it last week that a lot of them were like some of them were upper management in the
Yes.
development of the game. So like clearly it was going to leave an effect regardless. But also we don't know if that number was honestly true. It could have been a higher number that got fired actually.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we hear about it all the time especially within video game industry, how many these big corporations will just fire people and lay people off. So if they can fight this and say that, hey, they were actually union busting, and then they actually have a case to either get their jobs back and or severely heavily fine Take Two, because they were even protesting at the both UK offices of Take Two and Rockstar. They were protesting over in London. And if they have the case, they need to make it so that way they can either get their jobs back, and two, get back to working on what has been for the better part of a decade of development of a video game.
Yeah. I think it would be in Rockstar and Take-Two's best interest to just, reinstate them, settle this out, don't let it go to court, because if you drag this out, it could be very bad for them.
Definitely. Definitely it's gonna be bad. Now we move on to the Game Awards. Sorry, brother Tay.
I don't care. What? I'm not hurt. I found it funny. I'm fine.
So actually tomorrow, or if you're listening to this today, the Game Awards will have released the nominees for Game of the Year, and we'll know more about it. But let's go with our predictions. What do we think will be the Game of the Year? We'll just do the Game of the Year segment, because the Game Awards is long and lengthy.
There's a lot.
And it's
Yeah.
a lot. So let's start with our predictions. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I think a lot of times we get hung up on what deserves and what should be Game of the Year. There's a lot of criteria that goes behind it. And obviously, like we joke about it, with the Keeleys and stuff like that. Like he clearly he's biased. He always tries to push the PlayStation games and stuff like that. But I think if we're being honest with ourselves, it should be the game that has the most, or the, I don't know how do you word this, the most lasting effect. Is that how you say
Okay.
that?
The most long-standing game, technically, whatever's had the biggest effect.
Yeah, the game that has impacted gamers the most and the longest throughout the year. Sometimes it can be a game that just released, like right before the Game Awards, that has such a big impact that is just undeniable. And there have been a few cases where that has happened. But I think in this case, it's very hard to argue against Expedition 33.
Damn it, you
Because
should have went last. No,
because to this day, and this game released way early in the year, to this day, I still see people talking about it. And I still see debates on whether or not it is like revolutionary to the JRPG aspect of it, because let's be honest, a lot of people are basically being introduced to what a JRPG is, because that's what it is. I mean, that's not what it is, but it's like it's influenced by a lot of turn-based games from that genre. But I think it does something unique in that it's well, first of all, it's French inspired, which is something that we rarely see. We don't really see games from France that have that big a big that you can tell that it's like French inspired, and it takes a lot of influence from the culture there. So that's one thing, and then the fact that it took a concept that, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't play that many turn-based games, but it takes a concept that I have not seen since freaking Paper Mario, uh where you can actually do stuff while the enemy is attacking. Like, you can actually parry, you can dodge, you can do other stuff like in the meantime while you're waiting for your turn to attack. That's something that you don't really see often in JRPGs, and it's refreshing to see it again. And that's just the gameplay itself. Obviously, the visuals they're breathtaking. The voice acting, although one little gripe I have is that with the lip syncing is a little bit off. I don't know what that was about.
That's definitely gotta be Unreal 5.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chalk it up to like an engine thing, and obviously they're an indie studio. This is their first game, so I don't want to put too much pressure on them. Like, they obviously, hopefully, the next game they do is a little bit more polished. But yeah, aside from like little gripes there, it's gorgeous to look at. It was something that just came out of nowhere. I know a lot of people were talking about it prior, but it kind of just blew up, and yeah, and it's also one of the first games that launched on Game Pass and was still a success. Not one of the first games, but like it's one of the ones that you can look back on and be like, look, they did it. So Game Pass is not indicative of like a game's success or longevity or whatever. It still saw success outside of Game Pass despite being on Game Pass. So that narrative was already broken. So yeah, it's just a game that's been on everybody's mind, and I think it's one that deserves it, because going up against all like the heavy hitters that we've had this year, and we had a lot. The fact that it can stand on its own without the backing of like a multi-million dollar publisher, and they just did it on their own, is a testament. And honestly, it was really hard for me to choose this, because another one, although you can kind of say that it was backed by a multi-million dollar company, was Split Fiction. That was another one that I thought was game of the year contender. But
For real, Jesus Christ.
to be fair, like, they did win already. Well, the studio won. Was it last year or the year before? Where It Takes Two?
It Takes, yeah.
It
Yeah,
Takes Two
anyway.
was last year.
They already won already, so like they did their thing. Let another studio get notoriety for that, you know? So I think, yeah, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is my choice for game of the year.
Very good.
And no,
very
I have
good.
not beaten it yet.
You know what? Let's move on. I'm getting mad, brother Tay.
Oh, he already said the one I was thinking. Thought it was gonna be
know.
Split Fiction.
I know he said it.
You told me to go first. Or no,
No,
I
we
said I was gonna go
did.
first. You said you asked, and
I
I said I was
asked.
going first. Yes.
Yes.
You literally jumped on it. Ah, damn it. I just thought
So
it'd be Split
what-
Fiction.
Split Fiction. Okay. What your reason? Talk to us.
Split Fiction, again, is like Take Two, but I think this one was a much extraordinary, and it had so many different modes, and it kept so many people together for it. Though it was a very good it's a good, oh my god, co-op game. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
The good co-op game, and it took so many turns that as a game I was like, this. Though I net like getting to play it and getting to watch it on a lot of streams, I was like, this. I can see why this game would either win Game of the Year or at least get a nomination for it.
It could
Yeah,
still
but
get a
again,
nomination.
It still could get a nomination. We'll find out more about that if you're listening to it tonight, or we'll find out tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah.
But if I had to, like in my brain, I was like, if one game that was cooked, that was everyone really enjoyed playing, was loved by all gamers, reviewers, streamers, and critics, I thought Split Fiction had was going to be a good choice for Game of the Year.
Definitely. I mean, you're not wrong. Both of you aren't wrong. These are the two games that I was thinking about as well. Expedition 33. If anybody really knows me, I'm not big on turn-based games, but in recent years, I have learned to love them. Like I played Persona 3 Reload and absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's a fantastic game. And then played Expedition 33 and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. But at the same time, also played Split Fiction, which I thought was amazing as well. There's a lot of great games that came out this year. It's hard to choose one in particular. Um, I don't know of one that like really stands out that I really want to win would be Expedition 33, but I don't know if anything stands out anymore above that game. It's hard to choose. So many games came out. Doom: The Dark Ages, Avowed, Assassin's Creed, Shadows. We have so many games. It's too many to list. I could sit here all night lifting all the games that came out this year. But so many came out, and so many indie games came out. So the field this year is going to be massive. I do hope that Expedition 33 wins Game of the Year. I think they deserve it. I do. I wished these games came out in different years because really really good games. So yeah, for me it would also be Expedition 33.
It's gonna be Super Mario Brothers 3.
You know what? That's it. End it here.
That's a that's a joke from Video Game Donkey. He does this thing too where he lists the game of the year and it's always Super Mario Brothers 3. No matter what, every year.
That's hilarious.
But all right. So
Yeah,
that'll
that's
do
it.
it for us. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to us on a podcasting app, you can share us, rate us, and do all that nice stuff because we wanna grow. We wanna reach more earballs. I gotta say that once every episode.
Earball.
Remember, if you look in the description, you can see our sponsors, W Energy and NordVPN. You can save some money on subscriptions and all that nice stuff. And if you support them, they'll support us. And we thank them, and we'll thank you. That being said, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Laters.
This is Slim.